Today we're going to be doing It Girl makeup because you're an It Girl, and if you're not feeling like one yet, don't worry, we're going to fix that. Okay, so I am going to start out with doing the face because the face is like the focal point of the entire look. Once when you get the face out of the way, from there you'll be able to really craft the eyes and the whole look will be tied together. I'm going to use the On Ingredients Skin Barrier Calming Lotion. I absolutely adore this for skin prep. This has a very thin viscosity, so I feel like you're able to spread this around your face pretty well. And I feel like this is suitable for a lot of different skin types. If you have oily skin, it's not too thick. If you are more on the dry side, this is going to offer you enough hydration to prevent any type of dry patches. Now you can apply this on with a brush like how I'm doing, or you can use your fingers, whatever feels right to you. Now that some time has passed, I am now going to move on to foundation. You can use whatever foundation you like to use. I love using the LYS Skin Tint Stick Foundation. I'm in the shade DG6. It's just so beautiful. This is a medium coverage foundation. You can apply multiple layers of this without it getting cakey. Just gonna blend this out. Now I don't really like applying it too far up onto my under eyes. I keep that area relatively clear because I want to prevent creasing. I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. I'm gonna be using this to contour my cheekbones and my forehead. Now I like to keep my contour pretty high up on the cheekbones. I don't drag it any further down. I just like to keep it in this pocket. And then for the nose contour, I'm going to be using Morphe's Micro Contour Stick. This one is in the shade Sharpened. Absolutely adore this for nose contour. It just makes the process super easy. You don't have to overcomplicate it. You get really nice, precise lines. I also like to take this onto my eyelids to add some warmth and also to add some shape to the area. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Cream Blush and Bronzer Duo brush. I'm going to use this side to blend out my contour. Love the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand. She blends like a dream. And then my forehead. And then I always make sure that I include my hairline. This is something that I sometimes will forget to do, especially like if I'm in a rush. I will forget to take my contour into my hairline, but try not to forget it because it actually helps a lot with making the look appear to be more cohesive and like you're not wearing a mask. For my nose contour, I'm going to be using e.l.f.'s Tap and Blend Concealer Brush. I like using this for my nose contour. I love how densely packed the bristles are. I feel like I get really good control with this brush. I have used this for blending out concealer and I didn't really like it because the brush was way too dense. When it comes to blending out concealer, for me, I like a relatively loose brush. I feel like you get a better finish and I think that the concealer will appear to be more airbrush. We're gonna move on to blush, which is like my favorite step, and this is like the focal point of the entire look. I'm gonna be using two different blushes for this look. Now I'm essentially doing the Painted by Esther blush technique. I am not gonna do it exactly to the T. I'm gonna tweak a few things, but this is essentially her technique that I'm gonna be using. I'm gonna first start out with the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush. This one is in the shade Bold Face Lilac. Stunning lilac color, absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to take this blush and apply it right here on the face. I'm then going to take the other side of that e.l.f. brush and I'm going to start to blend this out using tapping motions. I am going to start to blend in place first before I take this anywhere else on the face. And then I'm going to start to move my brush around, make sure I blend out those edges. That way, again, nothing looks too harsh. You're going to be hearing me say that a lot throughout the tutorial. It's just very important. I'm also going to make sure I take this under the eyes as well. And that's the finish. Now with this blush, you can build it up. I really like the e.l.f. Camo blushes. They're pigmented, but you can control the payoff. So if you don't want it to be so pigmented, you definitely can control it by not applying so much. But if you want to build up the color, you definitely can. So it's a very flexible product. And then obviously it is affordable as well. You get like the best of both worlds. I'm not gonna add another layer of the e.l.f. blush. This is just our base. Main part of this blush is actually this. It is the Juvia's Place Blushed Cream Blush in the shade Pinch Me. This is a gorgeous bubblegum pink shade. That's what she looks like. She's in your face. She is the moment. Juvia's Place always delivers when it comes to pigment. Also, their lashes, don't even get me started. Biba is my favorite style. I actually wore that lash style for this look, but unfortunately, while I was cleaning them, I accidentally ripped the band off, so I have to purchase a whole new pair, but I love that lash so much. Okay, anyways, that was my little rant. I was fangirling. Okay, so I'm gonna take my brush and I'm gonna go into the pot. And you can use the back of your hand, a palette if you'd like. I'm gonna use a makeup palette just because I don't like getting my hands dirty, but I'm going to tap off the excess, but also this is going to ensure that I get an even application. I am now going to apply this right onto the apples of my cheeks. And same technique, I'm gonna blend in place. And then I'm gonna start to move my brush around. Okay, that's what we have. If when you are doing this technique, it gets out of control, all you have to do is just take your foundation brush and you just go over it. That's all you have to do. It will tone down the blush without completely picking all of it up. You don't have to wipe it off with a makeup wipe. Just go back in with your foundation brush and lightly dust over it. That is the cream portion of the blush. I am now going to move on to concealing. I'm going to use a shade that is pretty bright. This is the Armani Luminous Silk Concealer. This one is in the shade 8. And I'm going to place it on right here and right here. My chin, my forehead, a little bit of the corners of my nose, and then a little bit right here, just a smudge. I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit. I want this to get tacky so that I can maximize the coverage. Now we're ready to blend out our concealer. I'm gonna be using the Morphe M131 brush. I'm gonna first start out with blending my chin, using tapping motions, and then my forehead. Now I'm going to blend out my under eyes. For my under eyes, I'm going to tap in place, and then I'm going to start to move my brush around. I always like to go down the side of my nose because this will help with cleaning up the nose contour. Now before I blend out the corners of my nose, I'm just gonna go on ahead and blend out both under eyes before I move on to blending out the corners of my nose, just because I don't wanna spread that pink shade in this area. And now we're gonna get the corners. I'm going to move on to setting and baking my under eyes. I'm going to be using the One Size Ultimate Setting Powder. This one is in the shade Translucent. Oh, she's a little dirty, okay. Let's flip it over. You girl can't be perfect all the time, okay? All right, so I'm gonna take my puff, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go back in with my concealer brush and just ensure that you blend out your concealer again. That way we're not setting any creases. Tap that puff on the back of your hand. That way we get an even application of powder, and then we're gonna start to pack it on to our under eyes, like so. Always make sure you're looking up, that way you're stretching out that skin. I always like to take it on the side of my nose just to get a more sharper contour. And to be honest, don't fret too much if you put too much powder on your face. The good thing about makeup nowadays is that brands are coming out with helpers, is what I like to call them, helpers. Products that are going to help fix your makeup mistakes. If you put on too much powder, don't even worry about it, girl. We're gonna fix it, don't worry. I set my under eyes. Now I'm gonna bake. I love baking. I will always bake. I've been baking since 2017 and I will continue to always bake. Oh, Hold on. Look, I cannot always be perfect. Like I said, I can't always be perfect, okay? For the eyes, I'm going to go in with a little bit of Hourglass concealer. This one is in the shade Maple, and I'm gonna add just a smidge onto my lids. This is just going to even out the eyes. It's also gonna act as a primer for us. I'm gonna go back in with my puff, and I'm simply just gonna dust whatever I have left onto the puff just to set the eyes. I'm gonna go in with Makeup by Mario's Master Matte palette. This is the original version, and I'm going to grab this color right here. I'm going to take a brush that looks like this. This is from the Makeup Shack. This is the T45 brush. I'm gonna pack that color on, and then I'm going to apply this onto my crease area. Just going back and forth. And I'm gonna start to build up the outer corner and the crease area. I may even drag my brush inwards towards the nose bridge just to add some more definition to the area. This color right here, it's like a chocolate brown color, and I'm gonna grab a brush that looks like this. This is from Makeup Shack. This is the T82 brush. I am now going to apply this into this nook right here, into the corner of my outer corner, so right here. We're gonna use small circular motions, that way we have control of the color and it's not going everywhere. I'm then going to take this dark brown color, it's next to the black. Taking that same brush, I'm going to pick up just a little bit of it and tap off the excess. I'm then going to apply it in that same area. We just want to make it a little bit darker. We should have something like this. I'm going to take a clean blender brush and I'm going to go over the area just to make sure everything is nice and blended. I'm going to take a brush that looks like this, the Judy Doll Blush and Highlight Palette. This is in the shade 102. I'm going to grab this baby pink color right here, start to tap this color onto my lids. Now I'm only applying this color right in this area. Grabbing some more of that color, I'm going to tilt my head back and I'm going to pack this color right where my fold meets my nose bridge, so right in this area right here. I'm going to go back in with my clean blender brush and I'm just going to sweep over the area. I just want to make sure everything looks cohesive. I may even go back in with this brush if you would like to and just sweep over the middle of the eye. That way, again, everything is looking seamless. I'm now going to move on to placing some liquid liner. We're going to do a very small line. This does not have to be a wing. It doesn't have to be a thick line. It's simply going to be a line for my lashes to sit on top of. Judy Doll's liquid liner. This one is in the shade 01. I'm going to bronze up the face now. I'm taking a brush that looks like this. My trusted Hoola bronzer from Benefit. This one is in the shade Toasted. I've had this for a long time. I've had this for like 7 years now. Literally just hit pan. And you're probably like, oh my god, why don't you just like throw this away? For me, like, I understand makeup has an expiration date, but as long as it's like not breaking me out, it's not smelling weird, it's not like the texture hasn't really changed, I'm gonna keep using that product until I say I'm done with it. Now I'm going to dust off that excess powder. Now, as you can see, there is a little bit of a differentiation between the under eyes and our blush, like where we placed those two blushes. So we want to connect the two. Take a brush that looks like this. I'm going to take a powder that looks like this. This is from Bunny Elves. This one is in the shade NU03. Then going to take Juvia's Place Blush Duo. Very iconic. This is the volume 4 version. I'm gonna grab this color right here and I'm essentially mixing the two together. Start to dust this right in this area, just so that we can connect our under eye with the blush. You can totally do this with a baby pink color. In the volume 4 palette, there is that baby pink shade. I don't really like doing this with that shade too much. I like this mixture. I think it's because I like the finish that this powder gives. So we're gonna take that same bright pink color. I'm gonna take a brush that looks like this. This is from Morphe. This one is their M201 brush. And I'm going to dust this on the apples of my cheeks. If you felt like this was too much, if you feel like it's just too much going on for you, you can go in with your powder brush and just lightly dust over the area, and it's gonna help to tone it down some. I'm gonna take this highlighter from Mora. This is their Dreamlight highlighter in the shade Ballerina, and I'm gonna pick some up and apply it right in this area right here. This is where I think is like the hot spot for highlight, but I'm essentially gonna apply this highlighter on my cheekbones, my nose bridge, my forehead and chin, pretty much in all the areas in which light hits my face. I like to go crazy with the highlighter. You totally do not have to, but I like to go crazy. I like lose control and start like twitching out whenever I put highlighter on low-key. I'm gonna go back into that Judy Doll palette and we're going to grab that baby pink shade again. This time I'm gonna focus it mainly in my inner corner right here. This helps to connect the eye to the face. And then of course it brightens the area. And then just drag my brush upwards. And then just go over the edges with the top of the brush. So beautiful. I think it makes such a difference. It helps to carve out the nose as well. Go back into the Makeup by Mario palette and I'm gonna grab that chocolate shade, the one right here. And I'm going to take a brush that looks like this. I'm going to apply this on the outer half of my lower eyelid. This is just going to add some shadow to the area. I'm then going to go in with Essence Lash Princess. This is in the shade Burgundy. Of course, no brainer. I like to go in with a burgundy color on my lower lash line instead of a black because I think that it looks really good on dark brown eyes. You can of course go in with a black mascara if you'd like to. I feel like it adds just enough to the eyes without completely taking over the eye look. For the lip combo, I like to pair a cool toned pink lip with a look like this. I think going in with something that's like dark and, you know, super pink would clash with the blush because we already have a lot going on her face. So super simple. I'm gonna take Rimmel London's Cappuccino lip liner and I'm going to line my lips with this. It's like the perfect cool tone lip liner shade. I finally was able to find mine. I've tried Endless Cacao from Makeup Forever and it looks horrible on me. So I'm really glad I can be a part of the cool tone lip gang. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with NARS Fast Lane. This is another cool tone lippy. I'm gonna run this over the lips. I'm going to take Rimmel London's Stay Glossy lip gloss. This is in the shade Perfect Peony. We are at the end of our look. We're gonna melt everything down. Like I said, if you put on way too much powder, do not worry, we are going to fix that. If you are looking for like the ultimate powder melter, Wolfie's Keely Kaylee Glow Mist is where it's at. Wow, I just love this look so much. It's just so pretty, so gorgeous. That is the look today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time, Chateau Girl.